Update 11.9 is here, and whether you like it or not, this is including submarines. They're ready for the game, apparently. But seriously, there are some interesting changes here and some actual balance changes. Some really good things, like a Kuznetsov nerf. Also, maybe some good things surrounding the submarine changes, and I'll make it a little easier to hit some depth charges. So let's get into it. German and US submarines are now in early access, and really all this means is you need to complete some personal challenges, and then with the tokens that you earn, these submarine tokens, you'll be able to get the tier 6 and the tier 8 submarines in early access. There's also going to be some premium submarines, shocking no one. They'll be available in sequential bundles, but they also will appear regularly in the armory in one of the first updates in 2023. I think a really nice option for all of you is that commander skills and upgrades will be totally free to reset and demount. So for the first couple weeks of 11.9, we can play around with builds. You can try a bunch of wacky stuff and really change it all for free, which is really cool. Keep in mind, there's also going to be on the World of Warships website a way to completely reset all your commanders. Personally, I would recommend you do this near the end of that free session where they're still offering that. That way you can play around with builds and then click the reset right at the end. And that way you know, okay, I need to build a normal commander every time you get to a new ship. So even though submarines are clearly well tested and totally ready for the game, we have a massive balance change to them with this update. We're getting the Sonar Ping back, and seemingly, this is yet to be tested, the wave or splash effect when a submarine pings is going to be directly on top of the submarine. This should allow you to do much more damage more consistently to the submarine. And I want to make it very clear here. They say the ping launch effect appears on the water surface right above the submarine. This leads me to believe that it should be a very accurate indication of where the sub is, so you can drop your depth charges there and you'll hit, assuming the submarine isn't moving. Previously, this splash effect has been totally random and in around a kilometer half radius just around where the sub is, not giving you the ability to drop depth charges on it. So I hope this is a change, and if it is, I think it will be a good change, allowing there to be at least some interaction with the surface ship and the submarine. Interestingly, the ping movement effects won't be visible to your allies, so only the ship getting pinged, which is a little odd. Another good change is that they're adding 2 different ribbons for depth charges, giving you clear information on when you do maximum damage or when you've only done a little bit of splash damage. Now, I know playing carrier is very difficult and there's a lot going on, a lot of multitasking, so now you get automatic anti-submarine warfare. So anytime there's any signs of a sub, not even a spotted sub, just oil slicks, pings, anything in the vicinity of a carrier, automatically anti-submarine warfare will be launched. You don't have to think about it at all because, of course, carriers have more than enough to think about when they're just playing the game. We're also getting a new operation seemingly out of or inspired by events in World War II, which could be interesting, a good way to learn the ins and outs of subs. A lot of this is sarcasm from especially the previous segment. I wasn't expecting myself to be so sarcastic, but it's just kind of a comical update, let's be honest. We're also getting Halloween events again, the exact same ones that we've had for years. Seemingly there's no new ones. Interesting there. We're getting the Saving Transylvania event from, 6 years ago now? Sunray in the Darkness from around 5 years ago, and I think Twilight Battle's been around for a couple years as well, which is basically their attempt at Battle Royale, and, well, you know how that went. I should mention this is going to be the final patch where you can actually build the Puerto Rico or finish up the mission chains, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure you finish that up during the first 3 weeks of this update. Ranked Battles sees a pretty significant change where Bronze League is now Tier 5, Silver League is Tier 6 to 7, and then Gold League is Tier 10 and Super Ships. No subs in Ranked, so a good way to avoid submarines is just to play Ranked Battles. Likely something I will be doing. I don't really have any recommendations. A few people have been asking that, especially for Tier 5. I really do think the best way, especially in Bronze League, is to just play a ship you feel comfortable and confident in your ability to support the team. That's really the biggest thing in Bronze League. As you get up, maybe in Gold League, then there's a bit of an idea that you need some meta ship and to play well. But even then, if you're really comfortable in a specific ship and you support your teammates, that's really all that's required. Looks like there's going to be some brawls this update as well, and a new adventure for the Velos, a new DD from the Greek area, I think. A very cool camo, and there's going to be some tokens that you can use to purchase sequential bundles, and of course the Velos will be right at the end. With the first 2 weeks of this update, they're also trying out Crossserver Matchmaker. A lot of people have talked about how this shows that the game's population is going down. I'm not sure what it means, but it's kind of telling that it's only for the first 2 weeks, and they're only testing it on new players. As if new players didn't have a hard enough time. When the update goes live, the Vallejo will also be available in the armory for 22,000 steel. I've been a little bit busy the last little while, and moving forward to the end of this week especially. So I haven't been able to get a review video out, but there will be a first impressions tomorrow. It's not good. It's not very good, I'll just say that. And now on to some very good news. Game balance changes, especially when it comes to Kuznetsov here. Will to Victory is getting cut in half. The bonus action time is only 15 seconds now. Although they did boost the HP per second up from 0.25 to 0.35, overall still definitely a nerf considering the action time is cut in half. Which is really good because we all knew Kuznetsov pretty broken. As far as the other commanders, it seems like they're just kind of changing around some names and adding things to deal with submarines and some aircraft carriers as well. There's some new skills, as you can see here. I don't really have many opinions on these right now since I don't really see many of them adding too much to the game. Probably still gonna just deal with my standard builds, but I'll definitely give them a go, and you should too during that 2-week free period of resets. With the release of this update, you can finally normally get the Petri and the Edgar. If you remember, I did some videos on those a little while ago. They were, of course, in the early access auction, and I'm sure most of you didn't get your hands on them. Personally, for me, the Petri was amazing and so much fun to play, but I didn't really enjoy the Edgar as much. It felt like a very clunky Minotaur, and again, I'm not really a Minotaur player either, so keep that in mind, but I'm definitely excited for the Petri to release. And that's update 11.9, Submarines. I'm sorry for getting so sarcastic throughout it, but it's just very difficult for me to understand game balance changes to Submarines while also saying that they're ready for the game, at the same time as not releasing any data to back up their decision or at least show us why they're making their decisions. They're just telling us they're ready and forcing them into the game while also making changes to them at the same time. I just don't understand this. And at the same time, I'm a little disappointed that we're not getting any new Halloween modes. It feels like it's been a very long time since we've had any alternate game modes. Where were the space battles from years ago? Where were all these new ideas being tested? It seems like we're just getting the same old game modes and, well, new ships and classes that are being forced into the game that not a lot of people enjoy. So I hope this update is better than I'm thinking, but preliminary results and thoughts are pretty negative, I gotta say. I hope it's better than I think, though, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.